Welcome back to Can I Vibe with y'all, man, where the vibes are immaculate every time we hop up in here.
Every time.
If it's your first time watching, it's your boy Kaz. You can follow the IG CAZ_0.
And again, it's your boy Chris. You can follow me on IG at Mathis023.
Yes, sir. And we have a special episode today.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, we got these beautiful bottles on the table. We got the CEO and founder of this beautiful brand. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Brett Berish. I'm the CEO of an amazing company of brands, which is today we're talking Bamboo. So this is my three little kids: Bamboo Original, the OG, Bamboo XO, the black bottle, and Bamboo Cream, the white bottle. And then I also have. Hold on, I gotta give my cousins some shout out. My Bel Air, Vion, McQueen. Those are my family.
Beautiful. So I have to say, we have been having the Bamboo brand for quite a few months now.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 recommended.
My goal is I love turning people like, wow, I didn't know it could taste like this. Wow, this is nice. You know, having a reaction. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of making a brand.
Exactly. Yeah, because Chris was a rum and coke guy. I was a tequila guy. But like I said, I can drink kind of a little bit of everything. But now I've been put onto rum more because it's smooth.
But Chris, you're drinking cream.
Yes.
So did you like cream before? Did you drink cream-based products?
No.
See? Isn't that neat?
It was just like basically the original, the OG.
Yeah.
But I'm turned to the cream now because, again, like how you said you're a mood drinker, I could drink that in any mood.
Yeah.
I know your birthday just passed too.
Yes.
So we're gonna get a happy birthday celebration on here. We're
Cheers.
gonna get a little shot of clock.
Cheers, gentlemen.
One
Cheers.
time.
Thank you.
Sir.
I'm the happiest 38-year-old. No,
That's
I'm not.
it. I thought you were 25.
No. I'll take 38.
So we were starting off playing some music, and I know your brand is very big on like music and hip hop culture. So how were you able to mix that into the hip hop culture?
I'm a fan. Everything to me is got to be feel real, and feeling real means it's organic. It's just kind of. It moves, and I'm a fan of hip hop specifically. I'm probably a bigger fan of artists in general, just because I think they're inspirational. I think they're doing it on their own. I think they're self-made, and then it allows me to like their music even more when I like them. Like Wayne, you know,
I was about to ask if you had a top artist.
Well, the fucker lives in the studio. He lives there. He's all in. That's all he does, and that inspires me. I like people like that.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to copy anybody. He's his own thing. You know. It's just I don't know. It makes me be a fan of them, and then I like the music even more
see the work
afterwards.
ethic.
Yeah.
Have you been in the studio?
It's funny. It's you make me think about this. It's not the music that I start with. It's always the person, and then I like the music afterwards.
Okay.
Have you been in the studio with him?
Yeah, when we first met, I was in the studio with him, and he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't. Literally, he's in his zone, and I don't want to. I get that, like if you got your thing going on, I don't want to bother you.
Right.
You know,
It's working.
I think he had tried Bamboo for the first time then, and he drank it right out of the bottle. I was like, this dude's awesome.
So how'd that conversation go? Like you just brought Bamboo to him, presented it to him?
90%, 99% of the time, it's. People want to be involved with the brands, and that's my goal. Is I want people who want to be involved in some way. They don't care. They get what we're doing. They get what we're building. They want to be involved. Khaled's a great example. For years he wanted to do something. He wanted to be involved in the brands, and then we just started having conversations. Same thing with Wayne. That was the initial, he always said he wanted to do something, and we started having conversations from that moment because I want it to be real. I want to know everybody I'm working with. I don't want it to be, I say this a lot, I don't want it to be a transaction because a transaction has an end date. My goal is never to have an end date. If I'm getting to know you and we get to the end where I just figured it out, what gets you, what doesn't get you, how you work, like that's when it gets even better. Like it shouldn't end. So my goal is not to have an end date.
Okay.
It was the same thing with Rick Ross?
100%. Ross was same thing. He found the brand. All our brands people find. So
they found you. They all found you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't meet all the beauty of I like to say I'm nobody. My brands are somebody. But Bel Air, he found it in a club. He was in New York. Clue was DJing at the time. And he tells a great story. He's like, Clue, what the fuck is this? Rosé, I want this. This is me. I love it. It's the black bottle. We had the black bottle rosé, which we started with Bel Air. And same thing. We got to know each other. It didn't happen over the night. It's probably a year or two later until we started working together. And now it's been 10, 12, 14 years. It's awesome. That's what I like. I like building relationships, and I want them to last forever.
So you were talking about the studio experience at Wayne. Do you think, like, as a businessman, you should put yourself out there more? Because you said, you presented the bamboo to him in the studio. He loved it.
There's two sides. I think one is, let's take the artist as the example first. I recommend everybody, if you like something and you want to be involved, you go after it. If you're waiting for people to come to you for shit, it doesn't happen.
You tell me that all the time.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You just got to go get it. It does. Go ahead.
His saying is, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's reassuring to me.
But it's you got to go after it, and it shows you're hungry. It shows you want something. It shows you care. It shows you're energized. It shows you're committed. Like, if you're going to sit back and wait, it's not, again, God bless you. I hope it happens. Right. But I like people who just run at me.
Yeah.
So that's that side. On my side, I think personally I'm learning, and if I'm honest about it, I'm learning how to put myself out there, because I've never done it before. And to me, it's always been, my brother and I have a saying, it's not about us, it's about the brands. So I'm not looking to put my name on a business card and shout out founder and all that crap. That I don't care. It's not about me. I want the brand to be the special thing. I want the story about the brand. I want the heritage of the brand, the taste of the brand. It's always the brand. But now I'm realizing more and more, wow, if I can be a catalyst, if I can be a spokesperson, not just for the brands, but telling stories about my own failures and success, I think that creates, great examples for the people like me when I was in my 20s.
I respect that. I think when you're humble, it is weird in these days now, because you have to put yourself out there more, especially with social media. And even us with this, like, we're not used to, here, listen to me, listen to my voice.
Just let it go. I just sent an email to my whole company, and I always tell this story when I do my own interviews, and it's specifically with music people. And I always ask the same question. Did you think your number one hit was going to be successful? And 99% of them say, no, I hated it. I didn't think it was good. I didn't want to put it out. I didn't think anything of it. And sure enough, it became their number one hits. And my second question is, so what does that teach you? And the answer is, just put that shit out there.
Yes.
Put it out there. You can't, sometimes you can't overthink it. You just got to go, let it go. Go do it. And this is where I get inspiration or learnings from talking to people, especially in the music space. I don't know. To me, they set the example.
So you host interviews?
I do. I have a series.
Really? Okay.
I have a series called Selfmade, started in 2017. Post Malone was my first interview.
Nice.
But it was all about, it's called Selfmade because to me, it runs through our brands where people hold these bottles and they take pictures of them. And to me, it means that they've done something, they've achieved something, they created something. And it's that self-made aspect. And for me, it was, I don't like hearing about people's success. I'm talking to you because you're successful. I like hearing about the shit you went through, like the bad stuff. Because then it's more real to me. Because then it's something that, wow, that guy, it wasn't easy. Boy, Ross, it wasn't easy. Wayne, it wasn't easy. Like, they have horror stories to tell. Like, that's inspiring.
So, yeah, what were some of your failures?
Oh, easy. I've been doing this for, I think a bunch. I think one is I was the kid who had lots of ideas and never chose anything. And therefore, I never did anything. So it wasn't until my 30s where I finally picked something. And that was a leap. And it's hard, but you just got to pick something. And that's what I did in this space. And then I've had everything from, the first 6 years of this business sucked. I put all my money in the business. I had my house foreclosed on because I stopped paying my mortgage.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask what clicked for you. What made you decide to pick something?
It was like an epiphany. Just, I got to pick something.
Yeah.
you know, my big thing for me is, and some people out there like that, where I've got lots of ideas and I'm afraid, well, if I pick this one, what happens if it's the wrong idea? And will I ever have another new idea again? Like, therefore, you don't pick anything and you don't do anything. Correct. And so for me, it was, I just finally said, I'm going to do this. I've always wanted to do the liquor space. My dad was in the industry. And as I said, the first 6 years sucked. I put all my money in it. I stopped paying my mortgage, and therefore they foreclosed on my house. I stopped paying my taxes, and the IRS swept my bank account. I then put my salary in my girlfriend's account because they couldn't find me then. She's now my wife. I remember having a conversation with my mom, and I tell this story where she's like, you know, we had bankruptcy lawyers on the phone. We're going to wind up the company. I had investors, and she's like, Brett, I'll sell all my rings for you, you know, to put it in. I'm like, don't worry, we'll figure this out. But it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it was at that moment. I remember telling her, I don't care about being big. If I can just live and keep doing what I'm doing, I'll be happy. Oh man. So it wasn't about money. It wasn't about success. It was just, I like what I'm doing. And I needed to go through those moments, and everything those first 6 years has been why we're successful today.
So that was your motivation to just be happy genuinely?
I think it helped. It slowed things down. I think what happens a lot of times is, and I was that person, I thought it should happen fast. I thought it should be easy. I thought it should be overnight. I thought someone's going to buy one of my brands in the first 3 or 4 years, and if I just get a percent of the industry. And then I realized it's not how it works, or at least for me. Some people it does, but for me, it's not how it works.
Not most people, though. So.
It happens. You know, I'm not the guy I don't know how to raise money. I don't know how to do all the things that the financial engineering that people do. I don't know how to do that. What I do realize now is brands take time to build, and as long as it's healthy and we keep growing, I'll get there. That's my view, and it's been my view for 16 years now.
So for someone who, you know, say for example, they want to get into the liquor business, like what are the starting steps? How do you put yourself into that business?
Well, first you gotta love it. You know, I love what I do. I love my industry. I love everything about it, and that's where it starts. It's not, you know, I get people all the time they see what other people are doing, therefore I want to do it too. It's not how it works. Like, you have to want this. You have to own it. You have to commit to it. It can't be a side business. It's not a side hustle. You can't just partner with a celebrity and think it's gonna happen. So the first is, why do you want to do it? Like, what is it? You know, for me, it was easy because I saw my dad for 45 years in this business. We grew up in it. It was built in us, and us as my 3 brothers and I. And I love it. I love it. And it's weird because once I committed to this, every other idea I've ever had doesn't matter anymore, because I just like what I'm doing.
I could tell you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Too.
So, but and people have said, as an example, you know, wow, Brett, and it's hard to see yourself, but you really see it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't see me, so I don't know, but it's in me. I really do like what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing. I love my space.
I can see you're very excited as you're speaking about it.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I'm thinking about my dad right now. He to me, I could watch him all day long speak when I was a little kid, and he gets emotional. He gets, you know, the stories he tells and the aspects of the industry, and it's, you know, you want to be like your dad, you know, and it's an easy place to start. So I don't know, I got that from him, so God bless him. I got that from him.
So he helped you with your business.
It's interesting. He did. There's no question. Everything I've learned is a ton of it's from him. He worked for a big giant company. I've never worked for a big giant company. I could never do what he did, and he could never do what we did, meaning starting from scratch. So it's 2 different spectrums. We're coming at it from 2 different angles. Okay. But my dad is a storyteller. My dad is great at motivating and great at inspiring. And
you get it from him too, because you're a good storyteller, and I feel like you can really motivate people as well.
That's big in marketing.
Again, I think passion, you can't, I always tell people, you can't fake passion.
No,
you can't. I can feel it right now.
Yeah. You can't fake you can't fake this shit. So if it's real, it's going to come across.
Absolutely.
So if I was selling bread or being in finance, I can't do that. It's not interesting. That's why I left that space. That's why I'm in this space.
You found what works for you.
Correct. And that's hard because we're still, as successful as we are, we're still the little guy. Mm-hmm. We're against these big giant companies.
How long you been in the business?
22 years. 22 years.
And how do you find people?
Anything from ideally recommendations from people. We always ask our people to find people. Plus, they get a bounty on that if they do.
Okay.
But again, it's interesting, and it gets back to that passion idea. I can teach you the industry. I can teach you sales. I can teach you marketing. I can't teach you passion. So the thing that everybody has in what we're doing, whether it's a brand ambassador, whether it's Rick Ross or whether it's our CFO, Kevin, or somebody in marketing or graphics, they have to have passion. They have to have excitement. You can't teach that. So we look for passionate people.
I want to segue a little bit to be more personal. Now, how did you know your wife was the one?
She told me.
Because she stuck around.
It's easy. She told me.
She said, I'm the one?
Yeah.
Wow.
She sounds like she's a ride or die.
We're very different, but we have the same. We agree on everything, but we're very different. Very different people, but we agree on everything. I think the beauty is.
How are you two different?
She just. I don't know how to describe it. We're just different people, but together we're perfect. You would never expect us to be together. Okay. The way she looks, the way I look. But it's
38.
I love her to death, and she's given me great kids, and she's everything. She had what I like to say, and she likes to tell people, she had more money than I did. Oh. Yeah, she had more money than I did because I lost everything. She had more money than I did when we got together. So clearly it wasn't for the money.
That's a real one.
And she gave you 6 kids?
6 kids.
How do you balance that? Running a business and 6 kids and a happy... And maintaining a healthy relationship. That's hard.
No, it's not. It's
really
my kids. I don't have any hobbies.
Okay.
I like 2 things. I love work. I hate the weekends because all of a sudden it dies down, and I hate it because I love work. My brothers are built the same way, and I love my family. And that's my hobbies. Those 2 things, and they're an outlet. But it's amazing. The kids allow me to learn about brand building because I tell everybody I treat the brands like they're children. Okay. In the beginning you have to figure out what they're good at and how they fit and how they belong and what they need, and as they grow they need a little bit less. And there's always an analogy to children to me with brands because it's the same thing. There's a time horizon when they grow up, and what they need in the beginning is different what they need later in life.
That's true. Get a quick shot clock for it. It's been a while since we did a shot clock.
This is so good, that combo.
So Chris is drinking Bamboo Cream and a little bit of XO, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cheers. I took it from you. And I got the OG with a mix of the XO.
Ooh. And right now I'm doing straight XO, which is like a big fat cigar. It's like dark chocolate. It's perfect.
That one is aged longer than this one, right?
Correct. This is up to 15 years. That's up to 12 years.
Yeah. Okay.
This is, again, they're complete. The goal of my brands, just using these 3, they all taste different from each other. Yeah. And I want them to taste different. I want a reaction. You may hate one. That's okay. Then you love the other one.
I love them all.
So
I'm not gonna lie.
I know you said you're a mood drinker. So what kind of mood would you have to be in to drink that one? This one, that one.
It's not. It's a feeling. It's just something I feel. Where I feel like I want to drink McQueen or gin, or I feel like I want to drink Vion, or I feel like I want to drink Bel Air Blue. It's just I get in the mood, and then I may stick with it. I may stick with it for months at a time. Where that's my mood. That's what I want right now. So people ask me all the time, like, what do you drink with? You can't drink with food, and there are different pairings. I completely agree, and I get it. That's not me though.
So I'm gonna give you some different scenarios. You let me know what you're drinking.
Sure.
You're at the beach.
Oh, that is easy. I'm drinking a pina colada with Bamboo.
Okay. What, the OG?
In a heartbeat. Pina coladas all the way.
All right. You're in the house. Movie night. What you drinking?
I'm having OG. Bamboo OG.
On the rocks?
Yeah, just on the rocks. Always on the rocks. Everything I do is on the rocks.
Formal event.
I gotta go Champagne. Go Bel Air. I got to go Bel Air.
Switch it up a little bit.
What about the club? What if you were single and you were trying to pick up some girls? How about that?
Oh no. See,
hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
I'm holding a bottle of Bel Air and walking around drinking straight out of it.
Okay, all right.
I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy.
I'm gonna send a pic of me with Bel Air.
Years ago, I went to Rihanna's birthday party in L.A. and this is when we had Ace of Spades, the brand, and Zac Efron, remember, the actor. He's walking around with a Magnum of Methuselah. That's a 6-liter bottle of Ace of Spades. Just walking around holding his bottle, drinking out of the bottle. And then at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy.
I'm definitely going to be that guy. I'm going to do that this weekend. Give me some Bel Air. So if I had never known about the brands, what's a cocktail that you would make me? Very first one.
It's easy. I'm a big believer, and I was never this way. I was a mixed drink person. And now if I'm going to introduce a brand to you, I want you to taste it straight, because my goal is for you to love it. And if you can drink it straight, oh my gosh, mixing it is easy. So I don't want to make a cocktail. I just want you to try it. I'll put it on ice, and that's it. That's it. All my brands. Because, again, that's where you're like, wow. Because maybe, again, your thing, maybe rum wasn't your thing, and now you're trying it for the first time. I didn't know it tasted like this. I didn't know. So, try our gin straight. Try our cognac Vion straight. Try it, and you'll be like, whoa, this is different. That's where I want you to start. Because I don't want to be afraid of the consumer. I want them to try it, as naked as possible.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely love it. Most of the rum, I've had dark and light, but most of the rum I did drink in the past was light rum. I'm half Hispanic, so it's like a cultural thing. You're in the islands, whatever. Light rum's a thing.
But we're moving. It's amazing. This brand is in about almost 70, 80 countries. Nice. And it is the -- premium rum in Latvia, Estonia, Romania, Belgium, Canada, the U.S., the U.K., Hungary, everywhere. And what's amazing about it is those aren't rum markets. It's not a premium rum market.
That's impressive.
So we're making it a category, and it's because of the taste. Taste wins.
I need another one.
Yeah. Too easy. As Ross says, too easy.
Can you do the Ross though? You haven't learned after all these years?
My thing is when he says, too easy.
His interviews kill me.
Do you have any crazy celebrity stories?
In what context?
Just anything that was like, wow. Like, I don't know, just like surprising. That really shocked you.
I remember years ago, we did the Two Kings event, it was called. It was Jay-Z and LeBron James, the king of sports and the king of music. And it was during All-Star Weekend. It was All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend, and this time it was in Vegas. And it was an amazing event. It was at Tao. And my dad came. Scott, who's been with me forever, came. Simon, our attorney, came. We went to the dinner and then the party afterwards, and it was just who's who. It was amazing because it was Vegas, and everybody's there. And we're in the nightclub, and Jay-Z and Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan are all in this VIP area, and my dad is in the same pit, they're in the same table, all of them. And these two beautiful women are talking to my dad. He's 80 years old at the time. And they're on both sides of him talking to him. And clearly they think he's somebody, like just somebody. And everyone's wondering, what the fuck's going on? Why are these girls talking to him? And then 2 hours later, my dad comes out. We're about to leave. And I said, what were they talking to you about? He's like, Brett, I couldn't hear a word they said. I have no idea. So to me, it always gets back to like family. Like it's just fun. It's just fun. Because they thought he was... If he's with Jay, he's got to be somebody.
Technically, he is somebody. He's a father to a legend.
Oh, he's a legend. I'm just the son.
Oh, okay.
Humble man.
Okay,
I like it.
Okay.
You were talking about how the brand is well known in so many different countries, and you travel a lot, right? Which city or country should you visit when single?
When single? Mm-hmm.
If you were talking to two single guys here.
The best looking women.
Oh. Not from your own personal, because, you know, we don't want to get in trouble with the wife. Yeah. We would never want that.
I would honestly, I would just go to the party islands. I would go to Mykonos. I would go to Ibiza. I would go to, you know, the coast of Macedonia, places like that. Any place that's like
Europe type of guy?
Yes. Okay. I would go, anything that's beachy and summertime is the place.
Okay.
Is the place.
Chris, you writing that down?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Ibiza next summer.
Yeah. You got to.
I've never been. I would like to go.
Yeah.
For real.
It's great experience. Okay. Great experience.
What advice would you give yourself in your 20s?
Oh, so much.
The most important ones.
Rely on yourself.
Rely on yourself. Okay.
Rely on yourself.
Now, why do you say that?
Because that was one of my mistakes. Is I kept assuming people would help. I kept assuming that everyone who had you know, a whiff of power would do something, whether it's a distributor, a salesperson, just anything. I don't know. It took me a long time to realize I have to rely on me to get the shit done. And if others come on board eventually, great, but I got to get it done. So micromanage the hell out of it. I got to rely on myself.
On yourself, okay.
Yeah.
How about two more?
Trust my instincts. It's the second thing that I failed to do. In the beginning, my mistake was, if I use Bel Air as an example, when I launched that black bottle, everyone said, don't do it. You're nuts.
Why?
Because we launched rosé first, and in the champagne category, the thing where you start is a Brut, which is the traditional gold-colored champagne.
Okay.
And I launched rosé, and then they said, you're nuts now because you put it in a black bottle, you can't see it. You can't do that. And then they said, the price point, you can't compete with the Moet and Veuve of the world. You should do it a lower price. The younger Brett would have changed everything, because here I'm talking to people that are smarter than me, that have been doing it longer than me, that are more educated than me. And I learned from my mistakes that, you know what? No, if anybody's going to fuck this up, I want it to be me. Yeah. And I got to trust my instincts, and I got to go forward with what I think is going to work. And it's the same thing. When we launched Bamboo, same thing. Everyone said, why do premium rum? You know, you should go do tequila that's hot. And don't do this. And we're the biggest premium rum in the world now. But it's hard. It's hard when you're younger, at least. For me, it was. I just thought everyone is smarter. Everyone knows better. Everyone's more experienced. But you gotta trust your instincts, because my view is, again, if anybody's gonna screw it up, I want it to be on me.
Yeah,
that's big advice. So with the rosé, for example, like, what was your thought process? Like, why did you want to put it in a black bottle?
I don't know. It's everything's a feeling. For me, it was we wanted to start with rosé because we love rosé. That's what we were drinking. When I say we, it's internally. We thought of a way. All our brands, it's always about the taste. Can I make it better than the competition? Can I make it better than Moet Rosé, Veuve Rosé? And we came up with something that it tastes better. And now let's make a package around it. And I wanted to start because it's different. I wanted to be different. I wanted to make a name for ourselves in rosé. And eventually we came back with the Lux, the white bottle. Then eventually we came back with the gold bottle, which is the Brut, which is the traditional side. But it felt right. I wanted the black bottle. I wanted it to look like this, to feel like this. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's the same thing with Bamboo. This is the way we wanted. We wanted a big long cork that feels like you could bite it out of the bottle. I wanted a big X on the label. I wanted no paper on it. There's no paper on the bottles. It's all serigraph, which or moldings. I wanted a story on the back of the bottle. So there's blood, sweat, and tears in all the brands. So there's feelings in it.
It's different, and that's how you have to stand out.
100%.
In order to stand out, you have to be different.
100%.
It's unique.
Chris, 100%. And for me, it is the way I look at it is I can't compete. That's the other thing. That's another good example is of your question of what did you learn, what advice. When I look at the big liquor companies, the Diageos, the Bacardis, the Jim Beams, I have to accept I'm not them. I can't be them. I can't do what they're doing. Correct.
Be you.
You got correct. And that's part of it. You just got to play in your own lane and feel good about what you're doing and do your thing. And then I don't have the money that they have. But if I can make a better bottle and a better brand and a better image, well, maybe it'll stand out a little bit more than everybody else. So hopefully they'll see it first, and that's my goal.
Not having as much money is a positive because it breeds creativity.
It does, and it makes you self-sufficient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It does. It makes you, you guys doing the podcast, you know how to do all this. You have to learn it. You have to be able to do everything.
We're not professional.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error.
But you become self-sufficient, and you become where you're not relying on anybody else, and you can do it. And we're of that mindset. My company, even 150 may sound like a lot, or it sounds like a little, but we're self-sufficient. We all realize we're going to get the shit done. Mm-hmm. We're not going to wait for anybody else. We have to go make it happen. The hard part about being different is people don't want different. Like, when we made this cork, it's like talking to the vendors. Well, this is not normal. How do we do something like this? Well, how do you get it in the bottle? Well, how do you... That's the key is let's not question why we can't do it. Let's figure out how we can do it. That's the goal of the conversation. When you enter the conversation, let's put a smile and let's figure this out.
It's good because I believe I was at Total Wine when I noticed it, and it sticks out, which is also good marketing as well.
I don't know if it's marketing. It's just, to me, it's got to feel right. Yeah. Everything's got to feel right. Everything. We got our brand.
It has me feeling right.
Good.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
We haven't drank on here all the time.
If you try when you try McQueen and the Violet Fog, our gin, look on the back of the bottle. There's a poem. I think we're the only brand in the whole world that has a poem on a bottle.
Can you recall it off the top of your head?
Not word for word, but the poem it's neat though because it's about this band that's called McQueen and the Violet Fog. But it's different, and that's the story we wanted to tell, and that's unique. And again, it's for those people who get the brand. Mm-hmm. They just get it, and it means something to them, and that's why I like it. Like the shirts, you have no idea what that is. Fire. No idea, but they're cool, and as long as you know what they are, that's all that matters. We'll put it on there.
I like this combo better.
Yeah?
It's smooth.
You like, yeah, it's easy.
It's smooth, yeah. The kick is still good, but I prefer this one. Yeah. I like this.
I'm drinking the grown man drink today.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. When you get older.
He's actually older than me.
Oh, all right.
Did you have a target demographic when you first started?
No, I don't think that way. It, to me, it's an ultra premium brand, and my consumers will come out. They'll figure out what they like. And again, it's like I always say this with my kids. My son, who's 8, is wicked smart at math and reading. And he's a horrible artist. He can't draw and write worth crap. My daughter is an amazing artist. She can draw and she can write and she's sing, but she's terrible at math and reading. And what do you do as parents? You lean in on what they're good at, and you backfill, and that's what brand building is. So we find our audience who likes the brand, and we lean in on them, and then we'll fill in the rest later.
What would you say has your audience been?
It's everybody. Bamboo, watch. We sell 100,000 cases in Canada this year. Wow. No one from my company's ever been there. It's amazing, but it's I don't know. But it's the taste. The taste is winning them over.
Word of mouth.
We sell 20,000 cases in Latvia, the country of Latvia. Mm-hmm. It's 1.7 million people. Gross household income of $7,000. It's not a rum market. Wow. It's the fastest growing brand of all of Latvia. They just love the brand. That's the key to a brand. Bel Air, we're the number one brand now in the U.S. in the champagne category. We're number one in Korea. Same thing.
Wow. So you just don't know. It's just whatever market it attracts.
I dumb it down it's a great brand. It tastes great. It's premium. Therefore, there's a consumer who wants that product. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter where they are, who they are, what they look like.
What's next for you?
Nothing's changed. Our whole goal when my brother Brian and I set out was to create new brands and categories that we drink. That's it. And we're still doing it. So if we start drinking a category and we can figure out a way to make the product better than the competition, I want to launch a brand. Okay. And fortunately, we have a bunch of brands we want to do. So next year we're going to launch 2 new brands.
Are you able to talk about it?
No, but they're great. But if you have me on, I'll talk about it when we come back.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure I read this correctly. So you just launched Bel Air in Australia and New Zealand.
Bel Air, yeah. So we're launching Bel Air's in about 80 countries. We just launched in Australia, New Zealand. Okay. I was just in New Zealand. It's fantastic.
First time?
Second time.
Okay.
Second time.
It's on the bucket list.
Yes. Amazing place, beautiful place, but we're going to kick ass. It's going to be amazing brand in those markets.
Nice. What made you want to tap in over there?
I don't look to go into a market. The market tells us if they're ready for us. And in this case, they wanted the brand. The consumers are asking for it. The trade is asking for it. They want the brand, and that's how we do it.
You found that out by going there, or how do you know that
people contact? They want it. They feel it. The importers want it. They want the brand. So my Canada example, my Latvia example, people hear about the brand and want it. So it's amazing. Even though we're U.S. based, if I use Bel Air and Bamboo, both examples, we were doing more business outside the U.S. than the U.S.
It's a good thing.
Oh, it's great. It's great. But it's people hear about the brand, and my thing is I don't want to allocate. I don't want to. Okay, well, this is a big market, so let's just hold off and let's just make sure this market. No, I want to feed. I want to feed it. I want people to. If you like it, you should get it. You should want it. You should experience it.
So because you're winning international, I know you have offices in NYC, Chicago, Atlanta. Do you want your next office to be outside of U.S.?
I'd love it. I want to do one in Africa. Yeah.
Wow,
so our spaces, if you have a chance, come visit us in New York and Atlanta. They're really cool spaces.
Yeah. Really, I'm from New Jersey, so I'll definitely come to NYC.
Come, bring a camera. We'll be ready for you.
Okay.
It's an event space, the recording studio, video production. I'd like to do it in LA next, but if my next goal is Africa, I want it to be in Nigeria or South Africa.
Now, why Africa?
I love it. I'm so with my interview series Selfmade. I've been interviewing African music artists, and I'm a huge Afrobeats fan.
Oh.
Huge Afrobeats fan.
My God.
And I one of the big things I'm pushing right now is introducing African artists to U.S. artists or UK artists and trying to cross promote. And we're doing a lot of videos, helping artists shoot videos, creating content for them.
Nice.
So I love it.
That's
love
big
it.
time.
Yeah, I love it. So
it's actually crazy. We just found out a couple weeks ago our biggest following is actually in Africa.
It's funny because and Ross has been a bunch of times, I wish all U.S. artists would go to Africa, because if you go, they will appreciate you and love you for life. Mm-hmm. And you're not an artist, you're a celebrity, and that's the difference. And I think that's an important thing. But just show love, show support, work with African artists. I think it's huge.
I actually have a side question because one of our future goals is to tap into more of an international market. So would you have any advice for that? Would you say just travel out there? Or? I
think I'll use you brought up a great example. I'm going to use Russ, the singer Russ, as an example. And I interviewed Russ, and I always learn from talking to people. And Ross was telling me this great story on when he put his music out in the beginning, like on SoundCloud and shit like that. He'd see where are they following him, like who's his fans. And he saw in Washington, the state of Washington, he had fans. So what did he do? He went to Washington, and he leveraged that fan base and made it bigger. And then he found out that he had fans in the Gulf, in the Middle East. And he went there and started building his fan base. So it's the same thing we do, and I use that as an example with my own company, is go leverage where you're successful and build around that.
Go where you're loved.
Correct.
Yeah.
Don't try to force it. If it's working somewhere, go build on that. Yeah. You can always backfill later. You can always backfill later.
We got some thinking to do.
Yeah, my brain is thinking right now.
What have you guys learned?
Me personally is communications. I said this before. I'm actually an introvert, so it
puts you out there.
Yeah, it's challenging to me. So, but I like it because each episode, because I do the editing, I see my growth every time. So me just learning better communication skills with people.
Yeah.
And meeting new people, experiencing, how do I explain this? Experiencing new experiences of other people.
Sure.
So,
for me personally, I love it because I learn something. I'm always learning something. I'm always motivated by somebody. You guys motivate me. Like of course, it's neat. It's neat to feel that energy that you put yourself out there. Being an introvert, putting yourself out and on camera and talking and asking questions.
It is.
It's different.
It's like Ross said. We were on an interview together, and someone asked, if bad stuff happens, what do you do? Like, where do you go? Like, where do you get in? And my thing is, I get inspiration by talking to people. I need to be around people who motivate me.
That's me.
That's what I need. I need this. So I'm going to leave here today feeling all motivated, excited, and I'll tell stories about this to somebody else. And
we feel the same way.
It's a great thing. So I love it. So I get something personal out of it.
Yeah, I guess I'll end on this. For me, I've learned a lot of discipline because when we started, it was for fun. Like I had my brother on, I had my sister on, a couple friends on. And then the more demanding it became, we started to follow a strict schedule where we, drop episodes every Monday, started posting every day. So it started to become like a full-time job where I had to kind of tell myself, like, all right, I can't do this at this moment because I have to focus on the podcast. There's people waiting on our stuff to come out. So it's definitely given me a lot more discipline. It's taught me a lot about being consistent.
Yeah.
And just trusting our gut too. Like we try to go off of feedback, but at the same time, like, we got to keep putting it out there. So.
If anybody's gonna screw it up, it better be you guys.
Exactly. Hey, I'll take it. I can handle the screw ups. So.
It also taught me to let go.
Yeah.
Because we're in the service business, like it's not if I like it, it's if the other people like it. I have to let them decide and dictate whether or not if it's good or not. So I like that. It taught me to let go, and because I'm a little bit more of a control freak, and it taught me just to let go.
Yeah,
and just let the people decide.
I feel you. You got to put it out there,
and we get the opportunity to meet people like you. Sure. I would have never thought 2 years ago. I would have never thought. Like this is a blessing right now. A great opportunity.
This is the best part for me. I get to do this, and I get to learn, and I get to hopefully support and help. And maybe there's somebody out there who's listening who says, there's something I learned today, because for me, I learn every day. Something somebody said is going to get me, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Never thought of that. And it could be something so simple too, like, it's very common, but just hearing it from somebody else all of a sudden makes it real.
Yeah, we get different perspectives on here, which is so eye opening. I'm like, wow, I never thought of it like that.
Learn something new every time. Oh, I actually have one more question.
Go ahead.
Because we are typically a relationship podcast. Do you have any dating advice?
Dating advice?
Yeah.
I have marriage advice.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's hear that. He's going to be married soon.
Don't look them in the eye.
Wait, what?
Don't look them in the eye.
Like during the actual wedding, or?
See, I'm writing a book, and I think the book title is I think I'd like cocaine.
Wait, why?
Because I think I'd like it. And one of the chapters is don't look them in the eye, and that's the key to marriage. Sometimes is don't look them in the eye.
Explain that.
I'm
curious.
I think it means everything. I don't think it needs explanation.
I'm actually big on eye contact.
Oh, I got one too. I do have a good advice. You know how you always say what's wrong or what can I do?
Yes.
They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it.
No one does.
No. Well, at least women.
Most people.
Yeah. And all they want to hear is that sucks. That's it. That's all you have to say. So if something's wrong, just be like, oh God, that sucks. You don't have to answer to figure it out. And my wife knows I'm going to say this, and she loves it because that's all she wants to hear.
So how does it get resolved?
Well, it's not a fight between us. It's just if something's wrong. If maybe something's, in her life, in her way or something, and she's miserable. You know what? That just sucks. I'm sorry. Because they don't want to hear.
Is it like a comfort thing?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Don't look them in the eye.
Take that advice with caution.
Yeah, don't look them in the eye. Wow, okay.
How to hide in your own house. That's my second chapter. That's my second chapter.
When's this book releasing?
Oh, it'll come.
It'll come. I'm going to be.
Can I get a copy?
Eventually, I'll sign it for you.
Hey, okay. I'll hold you to that.
could wrap it up. It was definitely fun. We
Thank you guys.
it.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
Loved
coming
it.
through,
Loved
really.
it. Loved it.
This
Thank
was
you.
great,
Anything I can
really.
do, please ask. And if I can vibe with you all again, I'd love to.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And to
You're
vibe with
here
you in
too.
2023.
There
Absolutely.
you go. There you
Let's
go.
make it happen. And like you were talking about Africa, we don't know who this is going to reach. So
Yeah.
hopefully it inspires a lot of people
Exactly.
in many different places.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Much needed.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers again. You can go ahead, drop yours real quick.
And again, it's your boy Chris. You can follow me on IG at Mathis023.
Sir, and it's your boy Kaz. You can follow the IG CAZ_0. But don't go nowhere.
Nowhere.
Because you can follow this beautiful podcast at Canivibewithyall podcast on all platforms. YouTube,
Subscribe,
Instagram, TikTok,
like.
Snapchat, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. We appreciate it.
Everywhere.
Love y'all.
Love
Peace.
y'all.